Howdy, howdy, friends. This is Tamer Aziz with you. Today I will talk with you about when do we stop belly dancing, the belt and how can affect our performance or dance steps in our Oriental dancing and belly dancing. And also I will talk with you about our feelings while we are dancing through our performance. Since a few days I wrote this question, which it is when do we stop dancing? It was a tricky question, and thank you very much. I have to thank all my friends who wrote to me their answer about this question, and I'm so glad that all of them said that we never stop dancing. This is correct and this is perfect. But my question was a little bit tricky because exactly I was talking about the belly dancing. As you know, the belly dancing in Egypt, for example, and in most of the Arab countries, we have a period of time we stop dancing or performing this type of dance in this period of time. Why? Because it is something I love to share with you. It is in Ramadan. Next month, for example, Ramadan will begin, and of course most of the belly dancers and also Oriental dancers stop dancing in Ramadan, except some hotels. I think in some of the Arab countries the same. The dancers can dancing in also for the foreigners, but our parties or the wedding parties and something like this, we stop it in Ramadan. For this reason, we haven't, since long time, dancers can dancing in Ramadan, especially in Oriental dance and belly dancing. But for the folk dancing, many places all over Egypt, they do their performance for the people who love to watch them. This is okay like this way. And this phenomenon since long time here in Egypt, and I think, as I told you, in many of the Arab countries. If we compare between nowadays and the past, immediately we will find that it was normal in long ago, especially in the Abbasid era. The first and the second Abbasid era was normally after feasts we go and eat and do all these types of dancing. It was like that, but during we stop eating, so never do our dance steps as Oriental dancing or belly dancing. It was like this way long ago because people in this time were believe deeply inside the Islam in this time. Now sometimes people I feel that they believe they cover not what is inside, what is the meaning, what is the deep meaning. So for this reason, life changed. Let me see something like this, and I don't want to go more deeper inside it now. So this was the way, and I still remember also 20 years ago, or maybe a little bit more, was most of the hotels here in Egypt have Oriental dancing and belly dancing even in Ramadan too, because of the foreigners visiting us here in Egypt, and life was normal like this. Except, as I told you, if we have a wedding parties or special parties, no one dance in Ramadan or do this performance, Oriental dancing and belly dancing. This was my tricky question, as I told you, to see exactly the answer on this question or not. Yesterday, I visited one of our famous dancers here in Egypt. She is wonderful dancer, Oriental dancer and belly dancer too. And we were talking about a lot of points in dancing until someone will take a class from her. So we were discussing a lot of points about dancing and so on until their class began. Suddenly, in this class, I found something very special, what I love very much to share with you too, which it is exactly the deep meaning in dancing. Most of us, when we're going to dance on the stage, we know exactly all these wonderful steps, what we are using inside our choreography, but the feeling is very important, as I told you and as I am explaining to you all the time. Suddenly, I found that feeling in changing in many societies. For example, in our society, we have a deep feeling of love, and most of the time we using this feeling through our dancing or through our performance on the stages. And in another area or another place, they have a different types of forms to show their feelings and so on and so on, something like that. So this was for me wonderful when I started to understand exactly how we can show our feeling actually by the science, because our bodies are the same as all of us. We know exactly, but we use some science which can changing from place to place or from society to society. Yesterday I found that the dancer, I mean the Egyptian dancer, she want her to do something very deep in our dance feeling or in our feeling through her dancing, and was a little bit strange for her, because I mean for the foreigner, because her feeling like this way not same as us. For example, when I feel sad or something like that, I say that I am sad like this way, for example. But in her country, they say that I am sad like this way without using my hands, and many different forms or signs like this way. So this is exactly lead us to know which type of audience sit in front of us to do our science or to do our dance performance. Because if sometimes I use something belongs to Egypt, not belongs, for example, to Europe or to the Far East, immediately they will not understand what are we doing on the stage. So we have to know exactly which audience sit watching us to give them their correct feeling through our dancing. This is the first point. The second point is, as I saw many dancers didn't use their faces, I mean the signs in their faces, now I feel happy. So I'm smiling like this, and sometimes when I do something I feel sad, so my face can show exactly very quickly the inner feeling inside me. The bodies can do the same dance steps, no problem in this, but the hands and the face are very important to show people exactly our inner feeling through our dancing. I can let you through my dance to feel very sad and maybe cry, or to feel happy and jump from place to place. You feel something like this. This is exactly a very important point. We have to know exactly how we can use them through our dancing. We have to know that our body is talking, and we don't use our language but our body language. So how we can let the audience can understand us actually without using our faces or our hands. These two parts are very important in dance. So when I am happy, I want to hug you. When I hate you, I push you away and look at my face. I don't like to watch you or to see you, or I love you and I like this way. So we have to know exactly how we can use them in a correct way, and which part or which sign I have to use the correct part in my body through my dancing for these audience, and maybe I cannot use them to the other audience, and so on and so on. It is like that. So this is the second point in this video I love to share with you. Costumes in dance are very important and reflect exactly our feelings too. So if I use a color, the color also can reflect my feelings. So if I use something dark, that means sad, and sometimes more respect. If I use something light, I mean a light color, that means happiness or love or whatever, something like that. So we have to be careful when we're using our colors in our costumes. But suddenly I found the belt. This question was in my mind since long time, which it means why we changed the belts, the old belts, by the new ones now, which are very light or very not not heavy, same as before. I'm not talking now about the color as much as I'm talking about this one. The old one was very heavy and the new one very light, like this way. I asked many dancers, old dancers, Oriental dancers and belly dancers about this question, the answer of this question, and suddenly I found something I love very much to share with you too. In the past, the heavy belt was full of a lot of beads, hanging beads. When I am dancing or when they were dancing in a very little movements, you can see a wonderful shimmy, for example, very fast or very slow or whatever. Why? Because the beats can show exactly the way your body move, and it make a balance to your body when you're going to do the shimmy or when you're going to do any type of movements from your waist. By the way, as I told you, the most important parts in our bodies in belly dancing, which it is the chest and the waist. Why? Because of these types of forms, I mean these forms of dancing, dance steps, which are very important in belly dancing. So for this reason, the bra and the belt were full of a lot of hanging beads. And when I do my shimmy like that from down, from my waist, it's changing very fast or moving very fast to give me much more power. And also my bra, when I do like, not my bra, your bra, when you're doing something like that with these hanging beads, can show a wonderful movements. This was very important this time long ago until now, but now people changed their belts like this one, now, the light one. I think because the bodies changed, the curvy. You have to know that the curvy women, they love very much to do these wonderful movements, and the belt can help them much more in this way. And this is also in a technique of movements can give you much more power and attraction. So this is the difference between both, but still something hidden. I want to search more about it. I love very much the old one, which was wonderful. The old belt, which wonderful in this way of movements. I still remember this wonderful movements of the dancers long ago. And of course, the new dancers also are very important for me when I watch them doing all of these wonderful movements. But I found that they doing much more with a strength to show me exactly these wonderful movements. The old dancers, they were doing the same, but not with much more power like today. I know today difference between both. Nowadays dancers and the old dancers, but the costumes can help us much more when we're using same as before. Now I think if I give this belt with 5 or 7 kilo to any of the dancers, they will not feel comfortable because it's heavy like this way. I asked an Oriental dancer, old Oriental dancer, about it, and she told me that she tried once to use the light belt, and suddenly she found that she looks like naked, or she looks like she moved very fast. The belt, as I told you, give her the balance when she's going to dance or when she were dancing long ago, and this is very important for the dancers. These 3 points, I found them very nice, and of course I would like to share them with you, and I will be waiting for your questions or comments. And if this is first time watching this video or this is first time visiting the channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button below to receive my next video. And of course, I will be waiting for you in my next video.